What's happening out there, everybody? There's a little top, and I thought I'd do a little something different today. As you see behind me here, I'm going to give a little walkthrough on how I build some of the elements from my videos, from my 3D, and things like that. Hope everybody's doing all right. It's been a while since I talked to you. Life's just plugging along here, so I hope you're handling your business. This program I use here is called 3D Studio Max. Now, Studio Max is nice because, well, I've used it a long time, so it's my favorite, but you can also create models from scratch, moving polygons like you can see me doing here, kind of shaping the tent that I put up there in the top right quadrant. I put it up there just as a reference point. Then I use the other ones just to slowly move it around and try and match the tent as much as I can. Now, I do start off with the basic shape that you saw right there in the beginning, and then I kind of manipulate it. Now, what I'm thinking about here is I want to keep the tent pretty simple because I'm going to go in eventually and UVW map this, meaning I'm going to put the textures on it by using photos and different things that I've found online. My mission here is not to get a high polygon model. It's really to keep it as low polygon as possible so it can be used in games and other things like that. Now, there's several professional level 3D modeling programs. I'm sure everybody's heard of Maya. You got Lightwave, Blender, Studio Max. I mean, there's quite a few. People SketchUp. Studio Max just happens to be my favorite. Now, I don't think it's the most intuitive as far as creating characters, but as far as building shapes, previs stuff, you can build a whole lot of stuff. So what I'm doing here is you can see in the picture, making me a little ammo box. So all I got to do is get the basic shape and kind of put it over there, just so I can get an idea what things are going to look like. Now, if you really want to get a good preview, well, okay, here I stepped on over into Photoshop. I rendered out the UVW map, and I'm going to start moving these pictures of tents over these lines you see here. And these lines will then apply themselves to the model. The thing about doing 3D is you got to know quite a few programs. You really need to know Photoshop. So when I first got into, messing around with this kind of thing and had an internship, they asked me if I knew Photoshop. I said I didn't. They basically said, well, you know good to me. And I spent the next couple of weeks just sitting there cutting out pictures of kids, trying to learn how the program works. Everybody thinks there's a magic Photoshop button. That ain't true. Takes some time to learn that program. And just because you learn how to take a spot off somebody's face doesn't mean you know Photoshop. I always find it entertaining when I meet somebody who's like, yeah, I know Photoshop. Well, good luck. I've been using these programs a long time, and I'm not sure I can say I fully know it. Very powerful. My tent's coming along pretty good here. Now I grabbed me some pictures I found online of some old ammo boxes. We go ahead and throw these textures on there so it looks like a real ammo box when we go ahead and render it. Got me some mortar rounds there. Then I apply that texture down there. Oh yeah, it looks like a little ammo box down there. I don't know what's happening. Maybe I had to go use a restroom at this point. I am doing this voiceover later. Okay, here we go. We back. Now, all I do is clone and copy these ammo boxes and just kind of move them around so it looks like where they would be. You spend any time in the service, you probably know one of these tents right here. I didn't know whether I wanted to make it a desert tent or the standard army green. I know a lot of places in Iraq you'll see these tents, and they've got built-in AC, and they covered it with some kind of crazy foam stuff. I drew a picture of one when I was over there. I need to do, what was it down there? It wasn't Cow Sioux, it was Warhorse. One of those places with just rows and rows of these kind of hooches. And guaranteed that AC's going out halfway through the night. You go to bed. Well, usually you end up going to bed like at about 5 in the morning, but you're going to wake up at 1 o'clock to be about 11 degrees in there. I'm putting a sandbag on here trying to make it look more natural because for this tent to look real, it's going to have some support. So you can see I went ahead and I started putting the cords up. Usually you had to tie them down to a stake or something like that and secure them with some sandbags. And things were hell when you're trying to make it to the pisser in the middle of the night and you end up almost taking your head off. It happens. It's starting to look pretty good. Now understand, you can get crazy complicated with making these You can get real detailed and you can specify units. And the cool thing about Photoshop is you can go in later and you can paint anything you want on the side of this. You can put some Mage's tint. You can put for some Milltop's tint. It's really up to you. I made this more just as an example and to give people. I put them online for sale. Just as if you needed a prop for one of your scenes, if you like getting into previs and compositing and matte painting, having elements like this already done save you a lot of time. People are always like, well, I can do that, but there's a lot of things I can't do. Do I want to take the time to do it? It's a lot easier just to buy that sometimes, especially if it's at a good price. Now, this one is a HESCO barrier, so I went in, did the same thing, did a quick model of it, went to Photoshop, built my matte. You can see here. It's kind of copy and clone. I like it because it's good mindless work. I can just sit around, watch a movie on the TV. Oh, get a little sand there. Those things are full of sand. Put a background on it. Apply it. And there we go. Looks pretty good with those HESCO barriers right there, doesn't it? All right, well, you know what? I appreciate y'all tuning in. If you got any questions on this, write them below. Comments, anything like that. If you're interested in it, you can always email me, firststartlittletop@gmail.com. I love talking about this kind of stuff. And if there's something you want built, holla at me. I'm sure we can work something out. All right, well, I'm getting hungry. Hope y'all have a good day. Take care of yourselves. Little Top out.